You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, General Hospital fans, we are talking today about the very worst storylines of 2024 on the ABC soap, from Cyrus to Sam to Sasha's retcon and so much more. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt counting down with you. So please click subscribe if you're not following us. Some of these plots were bad from the jump. Some went bad because of the constant writer changes, and many of them really ticked off fans. All right, let's dive into number 5 on our worst plot list as we count down to number 1, which is the absolute worst storyline on GH in 2024. And because General Hospital has been so damned messy this year, I also have 5 honorable mention bad plots. So a lot to unpack. Let's get in. Number 5, Heather, the Hook Killer's unnecessary redemption. One of the plots that really ticked off fans the most was them redeeming Heather Webber, something nobody asked for, wasn't needed for any storylines, and did not move any big storylines forward. Laura Spencer started the ball rolling, but why start it at all? GH has left other characters in prison for years without mentioning them again, and it's been fine. Sean Butler, Austin's bald, creepy cousin Mason, Nicholas Cassinine have all been left in prison for years. So why not leave Heather there and forget about her until she's needed for an actual storyline, which maybe never. I loved Robin Mattson, who played OG Heather, and I adore recast Allie Mills, but nobody needed Heather out of prison. She was the hook killer, for God's sake, and that hip implant excuse is nonsense. Heather's been terrorizing people for decades, way before her hip went bad. Then to bring Steven Lars Webber back for something this dumb was a total waste of Scott Reeves' time with a do-nothing, 2-day comeback for a dim-witted plot that didn't need done at all. It was a total fail. Number 4, the Surrogate story with Kristina and Molly. This is the terrible gift that keeps on giving. Remember how this started? They got rid of Lexi Ainsworth out of nowhere and recast her with Kate Mansi, who I liked on Days of Our Lives, by the way. And we were told GH wrote a storyline just for her as part of luring her in, because Kate Mansi has endometriosis in real life. They wrote this plot where Molly had that medical condition and Kristina was going to be the surrogate. So supposed to be one of those medical awareness storyline. What started as Molly's sadness over not being able to have a child, turned into Kristina talking her and TJ into accepting her as their surrogate, and it turned into a literal nightmare. And Kristina just got more and more awful, and she continues to. She planned to steal the babies she promised to Molly because she decided TJ and Molly wouldn't last. Meanwhile, Kristina was the thing they were arguing about that was stressing their relationship. She talked to Blaze about them keeping and raising the baby she promised to her sister. Then Kristina ignored Molly, went over, started something with Ava, resulting in the baby's death, which we all saw was not caused by Kristina being pushed out a window. It was an accident. She tripped over a bag because she was in a room she shouldn't have been in to start with. I know some of you are going to get mad about me saying it, but those are the facts of how it happened. Kristina has self-gaslit her into this pushing thing. GH has made it very clear there was no pushing. This story was supposed to be about hope for women with endometriosis, and it turned into this flaming pile of garbage. Now, most fans hate Kristina, and she's getting worse by the day. The dumpster fire is heating up instead of cooling down. All right, number 3, making Sasha into a Scorpio was a terrible storyline and a crap retcon for 3 reasons. First, Cody and Sasha had a pile of fans cheering for them as a couple. And second, there was already a retcon in the mix. Cody was retconned into being Max Scorpio's son. That was actually okay, but then to pile retcon onto retcon is ludicrous. Number 3, Holly was already pretty awful, but making her Sasha's mom made her toxic because Holly never showed up for any of the crises in her daughter's life. The drugs, the heart attack, the addiction cycle, the paparazzi harassment, the death of her baby, the death of her husband. I mean, Sasha goes through all that, and Holly doesn't even drop an email. Horrible. And by doing this retcon, it forced the split between Sasha and Cody, which had a following. And then we find out not only is Holly her mom, but Robert's her dad, which I guess would be okay to some extent. except both of Sasha's parents immediately bailed. They just up and abandoned her after never being in her life. At least Robert had an excuse. The Sasha retcon was pointless and stupid, and I can't even. And now they've knocked her up with the baby of a character, Michael, who's leaving in a month or two. Maybe this is all to set the stage for them sending out Sofia Mattsson as one of many exits we've had this year, including Sam, Dex, Valentine, Charlotte, Finn, Violet, Jagger, Gregory, and more. It's another fail. All right, our number 2 plot, Cyrus killing Sam and Dex and the exits of Kelly, Monaco, and Evan Hofer. Let's start with Cyrus's most recent kill, Dex Heller. I have to say, Evan Hofer didn't seem upset about his exit. He has other projects planned, and he even horsed around on set the day they killed off Dex. Check out this shot of Evan with his tongue hanging out, having some fun behind the scenes. Kelly Monaco's exit wasn't so fun. It wasn't light. According to her, she was fired in retaliation after years of being backburnered by the showrunners while they said it was storyline driven, because I guess nobody else in Port Charles has a liver. Am I right? And Kelly has promised to tell all at some point, but for now, Sam's dead, and a huge pile of fans are infuriated still by them killing her off, and Cyrus was the one that did that deed, as well as killing Dex. And let's not forget, he's probably the one that tried to kill Lulu too. Killing Sam was unnecessary to start with. She and Dante had lots of fans rooting for them. The Lulu recast has turned out well, and Alexa Havens is doing a great job, but a lot of fans don't like losing Sam to get Lulu back, and it didn't even need to be that way. Sam's death has inspired tons of rage. It has inspired hashtags and a big truck driving by the studios, billboards in Times Square. It is one of the most unpopular plots of the year, in my humble opinion, and that of a lot of other people too. But the number 1 worst plot of 2024 across the board, I believe, is Drew and Willow's shag-tastic mess we are in right now. But it's hard to say. We could have flipped it around and put chemo as number 1. So just know that I was torn between which was worse. I rank this one as worse because it's ongoing. I mean, it's been bad for a while, from that July 4th kiss to them almost stripping down and getting busy the day Drew found out McConkie died. It's just bad. I mean, Willow and Michael were boring as a couple, but Drew was not the answer. He has been getting increasingly unlikable since he got home from prison, and now we've got Willow and Drew's nanny cam sex tape airing at the family holiday party, with everyone horrified except Ned and Tracy, who thought it was freaking hilarious. With Michael leaving and Cameron Matheson saying this is the start of a Drew-Willow love story, this is not going away anytime soon. It may carry over to be one of the worst plots of 2025 as well. Now to 5 quick honorable mentions, other plots that were so bad on General Hospital this year, I couldn't not mention them. Fooling around with Lois's accent, pointless and silly. I love Rena Sofer, but they're not writing well for her. Violin boy, why hire Gio to start with? I mean, he's killer on a fiddle, but it's not like they need him. And now it seems like they may make him BLQ's son. He's adorable as heck, and he can play a violin, but otherwise useless. And do we really need another retcon? Can they not make things happen without rewriting history? Speaking of history, why recast and bring back Jagger to turn him into a total tool, have Sonny murder him in cold blood, and then basically pretend it never happened and that the FBI would just, let it go? And speaking of returns, what about Jason's big comeback? They showed Kelly Monaco in the big splashy announcement with him, and then they exited her. And the only action Jason's gotten since he returned was one kiss from Anna that freaked out half of the fans. He is still Sonny and Carly's errand boy, and now he is Anna's errand boy too. But I will give him credit. Steve Burton did a good acting job when Sam died, but they have largely wasted his return as Jason. Finally, there's Natalia, the bigot they've made into a victim, who is now on the fast track to being Sonny's new love interest. Great actress, terrible character, one of the worst additions to the character canvas I can think of in recent years.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.